Hello and welcome back to Texas, folks. We got Texas. Now, Texas is the original seal clubbing ship. The original. It dates before the Julia. It dates before the October Revolution. It dates before Oklahoma Agincourt. This is the original seal clubbing ship. The original. If you were around here probably, 5 years ago, and you wanted to seal club a Tier 5, Texas was the girl to do it. Without the marriage flag, 5% to credits, 55 to ship XP, 65 to commander XP, and then 100 with the clan. Okay, armor-wise, not the best. It's 19mm armor. Well, all along the majority of her ship. Now, you do see that the torpedo reduction does add 25mm armor to her side. So, on top of the 25mm armor, you have a 280 armor belt. So that's about 300mm of armor they have to get through. Now, if we pull away that and show you her citadel, it is at the waterline, but as you can tell, there's a lot of armor they got to get through to get to this. If they go through the bow, though, if you're up here, it will go into your citadel. If they hit it just right. And plunging fire would also go straight through. So, she isn't the best armored. She's good, but she hasn't aged well, let's be honest. A lot of her main gimmicks that she used to have are gone, so she hasn't aged well for a Tier 5 premium. She's still a good one, she just hasn't aged well. Survivability at 49,100, that's actually very decent with a 31% torpedo reduction. Not the terrible, not the worst, but not the best. Artillery-wise, she gets 10 356mm guns. The reload, though, is pretty bad at 34 seconds. Since I have Halsey and the improved switch time and everything in 180, minimum switch time of 14 seconds, minimum 180, 48 seconds. Dispersion 2050, and then max range 19 kilometers built into it. HE damage 5,000, AP damage 10,300, 30% of fire, 59mm armor pen, velocity 834, so actually better velocity than the AP shells, which are at 792. She gets, well, as you can see, she gets 6 5-inch guns, secondaries, that are built in to her armor. So, not the best, not the worst. Again, you may want to use these if you're in close quarters. Pray they hit something. You only get 6 of them, 7-second reload, 4.5 range, 1,800 max damage, 6% of fire, 21 armor pen, and a 960 velocity. For subs, you get 1 flight. The reload's in 30 seconds, and it's 3,400 bomb damage. So, pick your attack. If you're attacking a sub, run away. If you're near a sub, run away, and then re-engage it on your terms. And the replay will show you how to also deal with the sub, which is mainly run away. AA-wise, this is one of the things she has in each one. When they redid the CV rework, the one thing this ship had was her AA. 44 single mount Orlik and machine guns. Then she gets 10 quad mount Bofors. And then 10, 76mm guns. Looking at the AA, 3.5 range. Not the best, but continuous damage of 329, short range of 336. That's an insane amount of AA. Back in the day when it was RTS, you could not go near the ship and lose planes. They would die before you even did. Now, if they attack you, they will get off strikes. But if you can minimize the striking power by turning into them and just dodging them as best you can, when they pull out, they're going to be dead. That's the thing, is if they go for you, if you can minimize the opening attacks, the AA will then have a chance to kick in and kill them as they're flying out or lining back up. You just have to minimize those alpha attacks. And then the AA kicks in. So it's still decent AA, but you have to but you can't just have this attitude of, I'm going to die against AA. You've got to know, like, I can defend myself. I've got to push, I've got to be aggressive or minimize how he can attack me. But you can repel air attacks still. Not as good as you used to, but you can to a point. Maneuverability, really bad at 20 knots. Maneuverability and turning circle is, well, 14-second rudder shift and 650 turning circle. Not the best. Compared to Julio, nothing beats a Julio. Even Julio has better turning circle and better rudder shift, which is sad. But it's a pretty close second for Texas. Concealment, not the best at 14 kilometers, fully built in. So there are some downsides to the ship. Now, again, you want to take auxiliary armament because of AA. You've got all this AA. You want to protect this AA in case you run into a carrier. Damage control mod 1. Now, it really depends. You could do AA modification 1, but I would honestly go with artillery platinum run for the 16% to your firing range. That helps a lot, having that extra range. And that's how I would run a Texas. 5 charges max, 4 charges of spotter plane. Now for the build, gun feeder, grease the gears, brisk, emergency repair specialist, adrenaline rush, emergency repair expert, concealment, and fire prevention. Since she's slow, everything is going to be basically minimize fires and shoot and try to do damage. Again, this is built for my Vermont and Minnesota, so if you have a Vermont captain that's built like this, he will work for the Texas. No question about it. For her, basically, camo-wise, this is what she would look like if you were going to buy her right off the bat. Alternative is like this. Now, you can't get this camo anymore unless in the, this was actually a promotional camo that they had when they were raising money for the Texas to basically be refurbished. If you bought the, like a special, they had like a special offer, you could get this Lone Star camo. There was the Stars and Stripes camo, which you can't get anymore, and then there's also the Victory Day camo. Most of these camos are in the Distant Voyages containers, but there's nothing special about the camo. Even though we've had it for a long time, they never did give you like any economic specialness or anything, so you're not missing much if you don't have this camo. But the replay will show you how to deal with Texas properly. And I really hope you enjoy it, because it was a hard fight on the replay. Hello and welcome back to the Texas review, folks. Texas. Now we got a really good game for you. We're bottom tier. Now there's only 1 tier 7 and 2 tiers and 3 tier 6s. So it's mostly a 5 match. But the enemy team throws us away. Really throws us away. Let's be honest. And I had a lot of trouble deciding where to go. I really did.
Attention,
Like, I didn't know really where to go. So I wanted to help our Verbis Unitus, because he doesn't have any AA, and the CV can just, well, dog shit on him. But I also know that the left side needs my assistance, so it's like, I really don't know where to go. I really don't.
Set a smoke screen.
Like you see, and you can see, I just had a lot of trouble making my decision. It wasn't until the CV spots what he's going to spot that I finally decide where to
Enemy
go.
force detected.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
Attention. Reporting a target position.
And he spots an Agincourt, a Texas, a Nicholas, a DD. He spots a second Agincourt.
All forces provide cover
That's
for
a
that
pretty
target.
strong, potent pushing power. And Sims is a good destroyer, but against a Grom and a T-22, the Sims loses that fight without a doubt. If the Omaha had been closer, it would have been different.
Enemy battleship detected.
But the Murat just kind of pushes in there. Kamikaze is a good ship too. One of the steel clubbing ships I've always mentioned. But with the sub and the DD there, he basically spots the Torps, and the Torps become duds and redundant because they're spotted. They don't have that stealthiness to dev strike these battleships. And if Kamikaze can't do what it usually does, playing on the flank, then it gets, well, neutered. And it loses a ton of its fighting power. And that's unfortunate.
Get back.
And I tell the Murat to get back because he's charging into two Agincourts,
Enemy battleship
a
sighted.
Texas, a DD, and a sub. That is dead, and he's going down. Like, we're gonna open up his health, and so we can see his health. Shots on the Texas. There's the secondaries on the HE. Boom. 3,000 of his health gone. And it's just little tiny chunks. Nicholas is now shooting him now. He's basically gone down. He's dead. Agincourt picks him up.
Enemy destroyer detected.
And now the New Mexico's in the front. You see the Texas is back there. And I'm thinking, holy crap. The enemy
Torpedoes
team
to
has a
starboard.
huge pushing power here,
Torpedoes astern.
going along that
Torpedoes to starboard.
2 and 3 line. There is a lot of pushing
Torpedoes
power
astern.
there. So I want you to watch those battleships. I aim for the DD because I'm thinking, okay, I gotta have. It's hard. It was a hard match.
The enemy team is
Our
taking the
Normandy
lead.
dies to the CV.
Teammate, I need your support.
I need the sub or the CV support to basically kill the Nicholas so the Kamikaze can do his help so I can go back north and do my job or help take these battleships down.
Enemy battleship sighted.
Yes, I should have had HE loaded, but it's like then a battleship shows up and I have to re-switch my shells. But again, look at these battleships. They're all seeming like they're gonna push, right? You'd think. We lose our Sims. Our whole northern flank has, well, fallen. Fallen. Absolutely fallen. It's gone. And they can just steamroll the 9-10 line.
Enemy submarine spotted. Enemy battleship detected. The ship is on fire.
We have to DCP those double fires. But you literally see that, yeah, they have a huge... They can keep... Those battleships could just push along with their northern flank, and they could crush us. Absolutely. We're down 4 ships. They're down 1. I was thinking in this match, man, I should have taken the Julio. I should have took my Julio. We get 4 shells, 16,000 damage roughly. Azincourt shots more. Azincourt tries to set me on fire again, completely misses, thankfully. If that had been a double fire, that would have really hurt. And the kamikaze can't open fire because he can still get gunned down. But I see all these battleships, they didn't even try to push. They were literally, they had the advantage and they just turned around and pushed like they wanted to fight from long range. And that's what, and they had a huge amount of firepower.
The ship is on fire.
Like if they had pushed with their sub, they could have won. They could have easily won. We're down 4 ships.
To starboard.
They're down 1.
Direct front.
They could have easily capitalized on it, but they didn't.
Torpedoes direct front. Torpedoes dead ahead.
They screwed up. They screwed up big time.
Provide anti-aircraft fire support.
Problem solved, sir.
Thunder, or the
Torpedoes to
Unitas,
port.
and Thunder and the Unitas is basically getting focused. He takes out the Agano, so that helps a lot. But again, he's against 2 DDs, 2 that have decent, both have decent firing, ability. So he can be farmed and targeted by the sea. And again, that DD's just, we can't really do anything about him. And I can't push to really help, because if I push, I get torqued by the sub. And we've got to go and defend.
Enemy destroyer detected.
Broadside, Agincourt, I try to help these guys get him down.
Enemy cruiser detected.
He's got a flood on him. Maybe we can get some good damage. The Grom picks up
Torpedoes
Unitas.
astern.
And now they have 3 ships in the cap.
Torpedoes astern.
We're down 6 ships. They're down 2.
Torpedoes astern.
Again, had those battleships actually decided to push, they could have won
Torpedoes
easily.
astern.
But they screw up.
Attention. Reporting the target position.
Like, they ridiculously. Emerald's right there. And I put shots out on him. We get a nice 15k. His health just evaporates. He's basically no threat to us.
Enemy battleship sighted.
But it's still nowhere, a losing battle. The DD is there. We've got to kill him. I've got to kill him. So I load HE, because if he stays alive, we've lost our CV. We pick him up. Our CV does go dark. He's still pretty low health. So the CV can kill him. Our DD is getting focused. Our
Teammate,
sub gets
I need your
focused
support.
because he gets, trapped. So it's literally just that emerald in the cap. And
Get back!
that's literally it.
Spotter returning to ship.
Our kamikaze is pushing them. Now we've managed to pull this back. They still have wind conditions because they still have a CV that can kill, you know, us both. Let's be honest. If the CV really wanted to, he could kill us both. And I'm trying. I might have had a shot on that emerald, but it was really hard, and I just couldn't get and I didn't want to fire unless I had a guaranteed shot. Like, it was slim. It was a very slim, you know, chance. And our kamikaze's rushing the emerald. Not the best.
Concentrate fire on the designated target.
And I'm like hoping our, you know, Agincourt is within range. His secondaries are within the range of the Nicholas, and the Nicholas is going to go down to his secondaries. So he's finally going to go down. Emerald launches Torps on the commie, misses them all, and he just gets torped to death by the commie. So,
Enemy battleship.
but at the time it was like, oh, it's really scary. But it was literally just our division. Both our divisions carried this team. There's no doubt about it.
Torpedoes to port.
Both our divisions worked extremely well together. We carried this team.
Enemy
That was
submarine
we had
in
a
sight.
double division carry. That we both our
Torpedoes to
our
port.
divisions had to fight for. And both battleships are within my AA range, so if the CV wants to launch attacks on us, he's going to be losing planes. You know, we get about
Torpedoes to
8,000
port.
on that strike.
Torpedoes to port.
I don't know what those shots were, because those were nowhere near me. Again, without the DD there spotting, the commie can actually do his work now. We get 15k on that battleship. Commie torps are going to pick it up. He's got a fire on him from the bombs, but the torp kills it. He does get a nice little tickle on us, so it's not, you know, But we had to claw this victory back. We pick up shoulder to shoulder, so great. That's always nice when you pick up shoulder to shoulder. It shows you how much damage you actually did and how much you did to hold this team together. Without a doubt. Because remember, shoulder to shoulder is your division needs to cause at least 10% damage to at least 10 ships, 20% of their base XP. Across 10 ships.
Get back!
That's slightly difficult to do. I'm telling the DD to get back. Because he doesn't have a lot of health. And I could have had a broadside, you know, battleship easily. But I screwed up. See if he's coming for me. Again, I'm a Texas. I'm not worried. I just slightly turn out. I lean lazily to the left. And the rockets just break and miss. He loses, well, a decent amount of his planes. I'm not really worried. Shots out, beautiful shots. Oklahoma's income bound.
Torpedoes to port.
We get our Confederate from Halsey, and our reload drops
Torpedoes to
down.
port.
And that
Torpedoes to
picks
port.
up the
Good
Texas.
show.
At this point, we've won.
Torpedoes astern.
But it wasn't an easy victory. by far. Sub tries a shotgun and misses. And then he turns back in to go after him too. DD drops Torps, so he has to submerge. We get 2 incapacitations on his ping and his Torps, so he has to repair that if he doesn't already have to. We're trying to bring more of our guns on, just to get him. The sub gets him, but he does drop depth charges. And the depth charges basically kill him. Even if he hadn't, we were all within depth charge range, and we would have had him. And he says, great fight. It was a great fight. We carried this team. Both our divisions carried this team, without a doubt. But the enemy also really screwed up. I mean, the Agincourts, the Texas, none of those guys were clanless. They just sat in that corner and didn't push. Had they pushed, they could have squeezed us together. There was no way we could have fought off the north and the south at once. There was no way. But we whittled down there, you know.
Affirmative.
Southern force, and then we quickly destroyed the northern force. And Thunderer and our Unionists did a very beautiful job of, you know, stalling them. And I know where the CV's coming from. You saw where the rockets came from. He's literally right there. And he's literally right where I'm pinging, right in that area. He's right there. And our CV is going to go down. And I'm like, CV, just spot him. And he's right there. That is one of the most interesting positions I've seen a CV, you know, be at. Without a doubt. Had our, you know, burn made his drop a little bit better, or had gone wider and then circled back around, he could have actually got a double Citadel on that carrier. Double Citadel. Could have got a double Citadel, possibly. He does pick up AA Expert, so kudos to him for picking up AA Expert. But we're not going to get, again, the CV doesn't know where the Agincourt is. So he goes for me. The one that has AA. It's amazing what happens when you have a competent player, or at least an incompetent CV player, actually go against a competent player that has AA. And you just start to see how they kind of, well, mess up. Again, we are gonna spot the Ryujo one last time, and it's gonna be a free-for-all to try to kill him, without a doubt. We have 8 seconds. He's spotted. X shoots. Agincourt shoots. Victory. Shots out from Agincourt. Second Citadel. And Ek picks it up. Literally at the last second. So a really strong carry from both our divisions. General Offensive. Confederate. Strike Team. Shoulder to shoulder. Literally almost every medal you need for division stars we got in like one battle, except for Coordinated Kraken, which is unfortunate. But 115k, 12 planes, 1 kill, not the best. But looking at the team score, we're at the top with 1800 base XP. The Burn is second with his Defense Expert, then Kamikaze, and then the Agincourt. But it was literally, you know, all the ships on our side were the ones that really won the flank. But the enemy team threw really heavily, like extremely heavily. I honestly thought we would lose that battle. But we somehow managed to pull it away. It was just shocking. I knew we could win it, but I didn't think they would throw that hard.